Welcome to Barton Connections, where we invite you to join us for campus conversations about timely topics. Today, we're excited to welcome Dr. Paul Christianson, Assistant Professor of Sport Management and the Esports Program Coach on Barton's campus. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We are really excited to learn more about esports. This is something that's still fairly new to Barton's campus, and yet I understand that we are one of the oldest programs in the country. Now, this started back in 2019, I believe. Can you tell us a little bit about how the program began?
Yeah, so it really was just a conversation with me and Amanda Metz on campus regarding starting an esports program. And I've been looking at the trends in esports as a sport management professor and seeing that it was booming and kind of seeing where it was going. And so we were lucky and fortunate enough to get on the trend early. We became the 8th founding member of NACE, which is the National Association of Collegiate Esports. And so we built a state-of-the-art arena with support, with some great help from our friends at Greenlight and other donors as well coming in to support us. And it was amazing. So we're entering now what is our 3rd year of competition. We've had tremendous success getting our program up and running and now competing as well.
Well, that's exciting. I know a number of our students are involved. How many do we have on our team right now?
Yes, we are currently upwards of 40 members on our team. They play multiple different games, ranging from, I believe we're playing in 10 different competitive games right now throughout the season. So we play in both the fall and spring in a multitude of different games.
What are some of the games that are included in this?
Yeah, so traditional ones that some people might recognize would be like Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K. We also play other larger games like Fortnite, League of Legends, Call of Duty, and some of the mainstream games that are really popular right now as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, are there scholarships available for these students in this program?
Yeah, absolutely. The majority of our students are scholarshiped, and they're recruited that way to come in, and so that's one of the big reasons why they come to Barton is to not only get an education, but also to compete competitively on our esports team.
Now, I'm guessing that there may be a stereotype out there for what the typical gamer would be, but I think that's a myth that we need to dispel. So tell us a little bit about some of our students and what they're doing on campus in addition to esports.
Yeah, so a lot of it's education, right? Education is priority number one here, and so they come in and they major in a variety of majors. In education, we have students who are in our biology program, nursing, our sport management program as well. So it's really a variety of things that they go into and focus on while playing on our esports team. So you got to think of it like a traditional athletic team, like they come here to play football. It's the same thing with esports, and we treat it pretty much the same way, where we have practices, competitions, and things of that nature throughout the year.
Now, I believe we're a member of Conference Carolinas in this competition?
Yes, so we are the member of Conference Carolinas. Conference Carolinas just got into esports 2 years ago, and so we've had a successful run in Conference Carolinas where we won the last 2 years of our competitions. But yeah, you're starting to see esports prop up all over the country within traditional athletic conferences, and then also our National Association of Collegiate Esports.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
Now, I know you also have an esports academy. So is this for students that may want to go into the esports industry?
Yes, absolutely. So as a sport management professor, we also offer an option for students to get into the esports career field, which is rapidly growing. Obviously, Raleigh is next door to us, which was just voted one of the top esports communities in the country. And so students can come, most of them will come through our sport management program, where all of the projects that they'll do will be specializing in esports. And we've already had a lot of success with that so far, with students taking on roles as collegiate esports coaches, going to work for game development companies and things of that nature. So that's really part of it, is that you can not only compete in esports as a gamer or athlete, but you can also go into the growing career field that's surrounding it as well.
Oh, that's great. That's exciting. Well, what are some of the trends going on in esports now? Are there new games coming out each year, or are these standard fare that they just look forward to from year to year?
Yeah, it's growing. So it was growing fast before the pandemic hit, and now with the pandemic, the majority of young gamers were at home due to the pandemic, and a lot of them were playing video games. And so we saw a rapid acceleration of students who are coming in who have spent a lot of time playing. And it's growing tremendously, where a lot of people don't see it, but when you look into the households and the number of people who are actually playing video games, it's significant. And so when we look at some of our largest competitions like League of Legends, like I referenced before, that viewership now is surpassing the Super Bowl for their World Cup events. So it's very large. It's growing, and it's an opportunity for really anybody. It doesn't matter who you are with your physicality or not, that you can compete in esports. And so it's a very easy access point for a lot of students, and a lot of students, especially in high school, who traditionally might not go to college, will go to college to be able to compete on an esports team.
So I know to be able to have this kind of a program on campus requires not just specific equipment, but really great equipment. And I understand our arena is state of the art. Could you talk just a little bit about what type of equipment and all the gear that we need to have a program that's this outstanding? For me, who does not know anything about this, I would love to hear a little bit about that part.
Yeah, so we have over 35 gaming stations. Some are ranging from, the majority of them are PCs that are equipped with the latest technology that we need to be able to compete, because speed is everything. We also play some console games, but the biggest benefit that we've had is Greenlight, and the partnership with Greenlight, where they gave us a dedicated gig of speed. So not only do we have the state-of-the-art consoles and equipment that we need, but our internet connection is also one of the fastest in the country. So that gives us a huge advantage when we're competing in these games, and it's something that you don't see until you actually get on the PCs themselves. You're like, whoa, these are fast.
Now, I know we also have a green room down there as well. Can you talk about how that's used, or how it's going to be used in the future?
Yes, we have a media room in there where a lot of the students will do what's called shoutcasting. So like a traditional athletic event where you're going to have like Chris Collinsworth on there, calling the game. It's very similar with our games as well, where they will shoutcast the game. Also, we have a lot of students doing podcasting and content creation, and utilizing that room to create media. It's about content creation and getting the word out. A lot of our students will also be making money streaming their own games, when they're doing practice and competitions and things of that nature too. So there's also the big difference between esports and traditional athletics is we compete for money, and the students get to keep that money. So even for this fall, some of our Fortnite players were playing for $150,000
Oh my goodness.
in competition. So that's something that's definitely different than when you're lacing up your shoes and going to play basketball here.
I would definitely agree. Now, for someone that is not a gamer but enjoys that, are we able to go and watch our team play from time to time?
Yeah, so we stream all of our games. Our National Association also streams many of our games. So you can just go to our Twitch channel, go to our YouTube channel, and we'll be streaming them. We also do have LAN events now that we're kind of hopefully ending the pandemic here, where we have individuals coming in and you can actually watch some of our larger games when we play some of the big teams and competitions as well.
Okay. Now, how young do students start playing these games? Is this something that they're learning even in elementary school, or is this something that starts more when they're in middle school or high school?
Yeah, it's kind of like when they first get their first Game Boy.
Okay.
Now a lot of it's happening on their smartphones, so whenever they start playing mobile games. And so it starts early. The average age of when gamers reach their peak is age 17. So that's one of the times before they kind of have responsibilities and go out, is that's where they kind of reach their peak in gaming for many of them. So it starts at an early age. Many of us, remember times of playing Pong and Super Mario Bros. And so it's very similar to that, only it's just expanded rapidly over the years with technological advancements that allow us to compete against teams across the country and great streams and things of that nature.
Okay. So I know you grew up with all kinds of games during your adolescence into your adulthood.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorites now, though?
Oh, I think my favorite right now that I've seen so far is our eNASCAR. So it's kind of like you go into the old arcade and you get a ride around in the cars. Well, now we're getting one of those where you actually get to compete for money against other individuals across the country in college. And so they just had a recent event where they were competing for 50 grand. And so it's pretty tremendous to see. I love all the games. The sports games are obviously my favorite, being a sport management professor. But yeah, a lot of the games, there's so much strategy involved in it that a lot of people don't see. And the amount of hours that people don't see that our students are spending practicing and strategizing is pretty tremendous. So when they've been able to have accomplishments, it's really something to celebrate.
No doubt. Well, what's the typical practice time for our students as they're preparing for these big competitions?
Yeah, so esports kind of happens at night. So a lot of
Okay.
our students will come in. I would say the majority of practice sessions happen between 5 and 9 o'clock at night, and the majority of our competitions are happening about 7 and 9 o'clock start times. So the fortunate thing about them is that we have 10 different teams, so you can have 10 different practice times with 10 different coaches. And one of the strategies that we utilize is we have team captains for each one of our teams that kind of get to serve as the assistant coaches or lead coaches to help our strategy, which really helps them get these leadership opportunities and learning, especially for those who want to go into careers in either coaching or working in the esports industry as well. It gives them those opportunities to expand and explore their skill set.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to get into this and maybe has not had a chance to do this before now and is hearing you talk about it?
Yeah, I would just say, compete in your games. I would say that look around for schools. I would go to the NACE website to see what schools in your area that might have esports. There's a great directory on there that you can see. And then see, what the teams have to offer, what games they play, what the practices are like, what the competitions are like, and really go from there. Esports is growing rapidly. We are the 8th founding member of NACE, and now I believe we have over 500 member institutions in a matter of a few years. And so the opportunities are growing endlessly. We're starting to see it pop up at high schools as well. So I'd look at your local high school, see if you can start a club team and things of that nature. But yeah, it's really expanding, and it's great to see really starting to get into the high schools and even some middle schools now where you can compete on an esports team just like you would any other traditional athletic team.
What are the advantages of choosing Barton to go into the esports program here?
Yeah, I think number one is education. We have great educational programs on campus and professors who really want to see you succeed and go off and to have a very successful career. Obviously, from the esports side, we're very competitive. We've had the number one ranked Madden player. We had the number 2 ranked FIFA player in the country. So we're very competitive. And just overall, just our environment on campus, it's great. It's family oriented. And then our team is very competitive. We have a fun group. We have team members who travel in from Brazil, Spain, all over the country to compete on our team. So it's a really great environment where you can bond with other gamers, and we're very active and love gaming. So I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart.
So there's definitely camaraderie within the team while they're still competing. Do they compete against each other, or are they always competing against other teams from other schools?
Yeah, they're definitely competing against each other in practice, that's for sure.
Okay.
But a lot of it is teamwork, and I think one of the unique things about us is even though that we're a Division II institution, we compete against Division I teams. So this past year we beat Auburn, we've competed against Duke. So even though we're at a smaller institution, you do get to compete against some of the largest institutions across the country. In Barton, in the esports arena, is very, very well known across the country just because we've been around so long and we've had a tremendous amount of success.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us while we're here today?
No, I mean, if you're interested in joining our esports team, just go to our website, bartonesports.com, learn more about our program. And yeah, if you have a young gamer and if you're interested in getting them involved with something like this, try to look at your local high schools and then look to see what opportunities there are for collegiate esports, because it's growing rapidly, and I think that trend is only going to accelerate.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us about this program. This is exciting, and I know Barton is thrilled to have this esports program on campus. And I've seen the state-of-the-art arena. It is gorgeous, and it's definitely exciting when you walk in there and see what the consoles and the equipment all with the lights. It's just beautiful. So it's a wonderful place for them to be able to compete. So thank you for taking time to talk with us, and thank you for watching Barton Connections today, and we look forward to bringing you another program in the near future.